I was at the bank the other day, and one of the accountants said that I should get a college credit card for college students to start to build up my credit. What are your thoughts on building credit as a college student or right after college?
It's, again, a lot of what I will tell you is from personal experience, in my opinion. When I got out of college, I had $14,000 in credit card debt, including a trip to Vegas, which was awesome and a lot of fun. But there lies the danger of that process. Building credit is extremely important. From everything from getting in an apartment to buying a house and a car, all of those things are going to go back to tied to your credit score and figure out, what really are you responsible enough to handle. So the one thing that I tell people is, yes, do that. Do some version of that, but you have to make sure that you do it responsibly. The best thing to do is get something where you say, okay, this card is going to be for gas and groceries that I would normally pay cash for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all in the credit card. At the end of the month, I'm going to take that cash that I would have spent and I'm going to pay the credit card bill. That way, one, you don't accumulate any interest charges on the card as long as you pay it every 30 days. And two, you show that you're responsible enough to put money on and pay money off. Put money on and pay money off. And the best way to do that, to me, is the way that most people structure their financial life is what I really have a problem with. You make your income, they take taxes out of your paycheck, you don't get a choice about that. You have your committed expenses, so your rent, your car payment, your insurance, the things you must pay. Then you have your discretionary expenses, which is all the fun stuff that you like to do, going out to eat and going to a bar or doing whatever it is that you like to do for fun. And then usually what's left over at the end of the month is how much we try to save. The only problem when you organize your life in that way, when you get to the end of the month, how much is usually left over? Yeah, right, zero, none. So what you have to figure out, and this goes right back to your credit card question, what you have to figure out is what for you should this number be? And then you have to put it right back up here as a committed expense. You have to begin to pay yourself first. I get my paycheck. It's direct deposited in my checking account. Taxes have already been taken out of it. I know that I have to pay my rent and my car and my insurance. I also am going to save $500 a month. That gets sent somewhere else. This part I think is very important. A Wells Fargo savings account is just an extension of your checking. It is not a savings account. Because if you overdraft in your checking, what happens? Your savings account automatically puts money into your checking as if it was just your checking account. Or you get on your app on your iPhone and you click and the money goes directly from your savings to your checking. That is not a savings account. That is just an extension of your checking. A savings account needs to be somewhere else. That takes at least one more thought process in order to get it. Oh, I have to go log into somewhere different and transfer money from one place to another. Is it really worth it for me to do that, or do I not need to go? You need to put that committed number somewhere different. Back to your credit card question. If you know every month that you plan on spending $250 on groceries and you need to buy 2 tanks of gas at $50, there's $350 that you're planning on putting on that credit card every month. Whatever your savings number is, increase it by $350 and use the credit card to buy your gas and groceries. And then from your savings every month, pay your credit card bill. The dangerous part of this is if you don't save that other money and you spend it, when the credit card bill comes due, what's going to be the problem? You don't have the money to pay it. But that's okay. At 12% interest, they'll let you pay $8 instead of $3.50. And then next month, you put another $3.50 on it. Instead of charging you $8, they'll let you pay $20. And then the next thing you know, you end up like me with $14,000 on the credit card by the time you get out of school. And that's the dangerous part. So, yes is the short answer to your question. You have to begin to systematically build credit that way. The part that I've always warned people about is you also have to be intelligent and responsible enough to set the money aside to make sure you're not living outside of your means. that make sense? Is that helpful? Good. Yes, ma'am.
Kind of piggybacking on hers. I've heard that student loans, just by the fact that having them, is that you have good credit. Is that true? Or
If you pay them,
well, so like say I get out of college, I don't have a credit card because I don't trust myself. Does having those student loans, like, will I be able to?
having a student loan does help.
Yeah.
So when you get out of school, your loans will be, you need to consolidate your student loans if possible. That environment has gotten more and more difficult. But if you can consolidate your student loans down to one payment instead of 3 payments of $50, 1 payment of $150. Always put those on automatic draft. That really helps. Like where they take money out of your checking automatically, just an automatic bill pay, an automatic draft out of your checking account to pay those. So if that bill is due on the 15th of every month, set your automatic pay up for somewhere before the 15th. Don't do it right on the 15th, because if the 15th falls on a Sunday and the bank is not open, it might get paid on the 16th. Set it up for a week or so ahead of time to make sure that it looks like, 1, you've consolidated your debt, 2, it's being paid automatic, 3, it's being paid early every time. Every one of those steps builds your credit just a little bit more. Consolidation, it's a good mark. Auto draft, that's a good mark. Paid it early, that's a good mark. All of those things help build your total credit score. And then the more months that it's auto paid early, the better the credit score gets as the declining balance and the show that you have the ability to pay it every month. That does help. Now, student loan debt is not the same as credit card debt. Credit card debt is considered consumer debt. Student loan debt is tax deductible, like the debt of owning a home, also tax deductible. They're considered good debt because you get a tax deduction for the interest, where a credit card you don't. So there is some benefit to being able to show you know how to manage consumer debt as well. Car payments, your electric bill, and I think your water bill as well count as those. Count against your positively for your credit. But consumer debt, it does help if you can show positive history, payment history, and those kind of things as well. But the student loans will help, for sure.